Mm, 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 mm. Day 365, what up? We did it. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So today is the last day of this adventure, of this chapter. Thank you for being here, anyone who's watching. And yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate whoever has watched even a minute of any of these. You rock. I appreciate your life, and I'm just grateful. And today I'm going to talk about the human experience because it is a beautiful thing. And I know that we have our highs and our lows, and sometimes those lows can feel just like blah. And, it's been a crazy year, and who knew, right? Yet this year gets me excited. My brain just works in the way of, ooh, breakdown, woohoo. Guess what that means? The other side is a breakthrough. And in some ways, I get excited, and things can be challenging or tough. And then I think, ooh, playground to learn, and we can have fear to do something. And then it's like, ooh, get to step into courage. And those things are all amazing, right? In my head, because I get to fully experience this like spectrum of life. And even back in the day, and this is interesting because I actually had to get really good at language, and I'm still very much in the practice of that. I'm very all about that now. I had shared with one of my really good friends that I was like, I want to live a really amazing life. Like, I want to feel all the feels, and I want to feel amazing things. And, just kind of saying what I'm saying now, I wanted that whole spectrum. Yet I wasn't really specific with it, right? And then I remember that year I like fell off a truck. I like tore open my knee. I could like see my bone. I like broke my fingers that like went the other way. And I was like, dang. And my friend at the time, she like kind of laughed at me and said, hey, Lizzie, you said you wanted to have a lot of stories to tell. Because that was kind of like my thing. I was like, I want to live and feel like I've really lived and I have a lot of stories. And then I realized, well, you can have a lot of stories without like breaking your fingers and like smashing your knee into concrete and, having to deal with all that stuff. And I was like, I'm going to be a little bit more specific with what I'm declaring out into the world, the universe, life, all the things. And now, kind of what I've declared is that I understand that life will have its ups and its downs. And there are the things that we feel and experience as good or bad, things that work in the world and things that don't. And now I've really declared that no matter what, I only see the gifts, and I only see the wins, and I see the learning, and it's always happening for me. And these gifts of, even hard times are there for transformation. And all the amazing things and the good things and the things that feel so good, they're also there for transformation. They honestly just feel like a more fulfilling, happier, graceful experience. And really understanding that even though it feels good, sometimes, like even in the pain, your greatest things come out of it. Like, think right now for yourself. It's like, what was one of the hardest, most challenging things in your life? It honestly is probably one of the things that really created who you are today, because it builds character. And so I learned that enough over time that I've just fallen in love with it all. And it now shifts my experience around things that are like bad or a low. And I can see beyond what you first would see as a human, like the breakdown, the pain, the triggered, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm all this stuff. And you see beyond that and into the light. And now that I see that, what happens is I move quickly, right? I feel like a lot of the times it's like breakdown, but then in 2 seconds, I'm like, oh, got it. Okay, cool. And it doesn't become my identity. And it's just been an amazing thing for myself because it's this beautiful experience. And so I started to learn, yes, I want lots of stories. Yet I also wanted to learn to get really powerful around things that in the human kind of grounded 3D realm seem to be, honestly, like the things that people would call hell on earth. And to no longer view it that way, because then it shifts my experience of it. right? So there's always going to be the quote unquote breakdowns, and things that seem wrong in the world or bad. Yet now I only experience them as, here's the lesson. Here's where we get to show up. This is the gift. Ooh, here's the door to the next level, And you become, I think, more grounded and powerful in that place, because when those challenging times step in, I think that's really where our spirit gets to kick in. And when things are going really great, I think in some ways that's where our humanness gets to come in, almost getting to play and be a kid and be like, oh, what does this taste like? What does this feel like? Use all of our senses, right? We came here for this human physical experience. And it really is, to me, this oneness that when I kind of really started to shift my mind around experiencing highs and lows and all of this, and just seeing it as it's all beautiful, and I love it all, and I accept it all, and I can be powerful in it all, it changed, right? And so again, almost like kind of going back to that declaration. Before, I was just, when I was declaring like, oh, I want lots of stories, I was almost in some ways not being really clear on what that meant. And that's where I had some breakdowns that were actually painful, and I experienced them as painful. And now, even if those same things were to happen, the experience of that same circumstance would be experienced different, because now it's just seeing the beauty in it all. Whereas before, I was like, I almost wanted to see the struggle. And it's like, well, why would you want to see that? Things are still going to be there. Yet I want to now see through a lens of a student. I want to see through the lens of a leader. I want to see through the lens of, blessings. And that to me is a part of my game here. And I really feel like I came here to realize it's all one and the same. It's all one and the same. It's always great. It's always perfect. It's always beautiful. And it's seeing that in everything, seeing God in everything. And especially for people that are in it, I know people are going to watch this, and most people are going to be in it, meaning, how do you say that when this is happening in the world, or this or that, or I just know someone who died, or, everything that's happened from all the crazy stuff in 2020, all of the things. Like, how can we say that? And I used to be there. I used to be in that mindset. And so to speak to that, the lens I live from now really is a lens of faith and like letting go. And it's all really a choice, which I think is kind of even, if I get a little biblical, right? It's like free will, And again, I'm not quote unquote religious. I have never been baptized. I really have never read the Bible. I love listening to all spiritual teachers. I love listening to people who don't believe in anything at all. I think everyone has a valid, beautiful point, and I think that their experience is what it is, and it's there exactly as it needs to be. And I can just share mine. And I used to think, well, this must be hell on earth, or like whatever, all these things. But I'm like, I can't believe in that stuff anymore, because hell is a mindset. And yes, that can be here, but is it even real? And heaven too, right? Heaven is mindset, and feeling good is mindset. Is that even real? I don't know. But we have experiences, and the experiences, we experience it as real. So I love falling in love with the experience side, and I want to choose mine every day. So wherever you are in your human experience, my only wish for you is literally that you just choose it, surrender to it, be a student to it, be a teacher to it, love it, give gratitude, all the things. Because maybe you just came here to go through all that. And I think it's in this paradox of, it's a unique experience because you're a unique expression. yet it's all for the greater good and greater experience, I actually want to say, that it's for all of us. And especially those big things that really hit us on an energetic level, like it hits our chest, whether it's a beautiful song that everyone falls in love with, or it's like a major heartbreak in the world. I really feel that those things that really touch us all, it's because it's to expand us all. And in that, how can I not see the beauty? It's like if I look in history and I look at just what we have done as people, and I know some people will be like, what have we done at all? We have done a lot. We really have. And it's a beautiful thing. And we wouldn't have gotten here with only the highs, and we wouldn't have gotten here with only the lows. We get here because it's through the human experience. It's through all of it, through all of us. And you get to create however your world is going to function, because you're really the only one living in it. So what do you want to create? And just fall in love, guys. That's all I can say. I'm probably going to keep talking more about all this stuff because, again, I love the human experience. I am grateful to be a part of this time on Earth with all of you. I do not think any of it was by chance. I think I chose to come here. And every person I've ever met, I think in a lot of ways we have all made these choices that have led us to each other. And with every, heartbreak in the world and with every heart that is being fulfilled right now, I just say thank you. I love you. I'm grateful for all of it. And I just really, really, really want to be a voice in the world for new perspective and oneness and completely trusting the process and going within, as well as being able to be compassionate and be out in the world. So cheers to that. 365, baby. Have an amazing morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll be back making videos at some point or something. Bye, guys.